We're gonna make the most delicious veggie shepherd's pie. This is in fact vegan, really, really good, but this is one of many recipes that I'm gonna be celebrating across the whole month. I've done a meal planner for you guys, which spans a whole month of budget-friendly recipes. This is gonna be good on the planet, it's gonna be good on your wallet, and it's gonna be good in your tummy, right? It's gonna be delicious. No compromise happening here. So let's get cooking. We're gonna go in with some nice olive oil, about 2 tablespoons goes in, right? We'll put it onto a medium heat. I'm gonna start the flavor story with a herb. To use a nice little pile of rosemary in this dish is a good trigger for big flavor. Roughly chop the rosemary. So the rosemary goes in. As you get a little bit of a fry on there, let's add some garlic. So we're now gonna add the first veggies. Just, you know, standard mushrooms, button mushrooms, little kind of brown mushrooms, portobello mushrooms, whatever you can get your hand on. You can break these up like that. Also, dried mushrooms are a massive, like, trick if you're veggie vegan and you're craving that depth of flavor that you can easily access from meat. So mushrooms I put in first, season a little bit now to get that seasoning into the veggies. You can go quite heavy on the pepper. On the story of spices, that is about a tablespoon of ground coriander goes in. Delicious. Okay, a little cheat, a little hack. It's not cheaper actually, but it's a good conversation starter. In the supermarket, you have got frozen chopped veg. So convenience here, what we have here is celery, carrots, onions, right? So a whole bag goes in. It's frozen, you can take a handful. This is a really brilliant product to have in your freezer. I'm gonna turn the heat up now. And I wanna let this fry off for about 5 minutes to concentrate the flavors, get them golden and get them caramelized. Most of the time, those frozen bags of chopped veg are more expensive than buying the raw stuff. But let's look at the upside. It's frozen, you can take a little bit or use the whole lot. It's already chopped for you. It's blended as a mix, which is kind of convenient, and there's no waste. I'm taking this down, and it's currently quite moist in here, but what's nice is all the flavors are mixing around. We're getting darker, guys, we're getting darker. That's what we want. So this has been frying for like 15 minutes, and you'll notice that the volume has gone down. Look at that. It already smells good. Okay, so when doing a beautiful ragu, bolognese, you know, mincemeat dish, you know, using wine or beer is quite common. There are eggs used in the fining process of red wine, okay? So have a look on the back of the label, you know, to make sure, is it vegan or not vegan? So go in with a good glass. Cheers. So can you see how we've now gone back in seconds to a dry pan, okay? At this point, now I add our proteins in the form of lentils, and then I'll go in with tinned chickpeas. So once we've done that, what we need is a little bit of stock. Now you can buy veggie stock, right? But I just want to give you like a little cheat on how you can make your own. Just boil a kettle and use, this is porcini, but I really genuinely do use dried mushrooms. You just put a little handful like that in, right? That's all you need. The flavor is phenomenal. Also, if you wanted to pep up some flavor, like you can cheat with a little bit of Marmite, just a little spoon like that goes in. Just a little thimble of soy sauce. The other one is miso, amazing flavor. So these are all really good tips. Then if you've got any herbs lying around, you know, you can put those in, right? But essentially we're making a cup of tea. It's an infusion. You know, if you're using carrots and you've got peel, you know, right, you can still, you know, be clever about it. This will taste phenomenal. So let's just move it about. Oh, it's good. How much effort was that? There's one last ingredient. You could use tomato puree, you could use tinned tomatoes. I'm using just a little clutch, you know, 10 or 12 sun-dried tomatoes. Sunshine, optimism, hope, little pops of sweetness. You know, as we add our stock now, this is essentially the equivalent of our mincemeat, our bolognese-esque type ragu. And the mushrooms can go in, by the way. not the herbs, the little masher, just gently crush, just to lose, you know, that blatant shape of the chickpea. Okay, so we're done. Turn it off. Normally at home, I would just fill this pan with mashed potato now, but I do want to make it a bit more fancy, just because, you know, we're making a cooking show. It's a little bit wetter than you would think, but remember, it's going to carry on baking in the oven, and I do want it to kind of be blippy and gorgeous. So into that dish, I'm going to go on top with my mashed potato, just boiled, mashed, instead of butter, nice extra virgin olive oil and salt and pepper, a little bit of nutmeg is really nice. You can make it really flat if you want, but I quite like it rustic like this. Look at that. That's basically 1.5 kilos of potatoes. Last but not least, before I pop it in the oven, I'm going to put a little oil over the top of the potatoes and purposefully use a different herb, thyme. If you put in, you know, 3 or 4 tablespoons of oil, like that, right? And get in there like this, and then squeeze it through. That will guarantee you flavour, but a nice crispy finish. That's a really simple way of making a definitively convincing herb oil. In the oven it goes now for about half an hour, 40 minutes, until golden, blipping and delicious. So in we go. Delish. Okay, so this beautiful veggie shepherd's pie has had 35 minutes. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. What I loved about this, can you see here? Look at that. So we've got that incredible gravy blipping away here, cooking into the potatoes, giving you soggy, tasty potatoes. We've got the crispy potatoes on top, little gnarly, crispy bits here. Look at that, look, sticky bits. Like really, really nice. Like almost like the best bits. Yum. So that, I would treat like a normal shepherd's pie. Gorgeous. Some lovely seasonal greens that you can just toss with a little bit of olive oil. So let's go in for the kill. Come on, let's get in there, into the heart and soul of this beautiful veggie shepherd's pie. Look at that. You can see this is gonna feed nicely like a big old group of people. Serve this with whatever lovely sort of steamed or boiled veggies you can get your hands on. I've just got a little bit of kale here, mustard and brown sauce. Really, really nice. Not that it's traditional, but a little bit of ketchup as well is definitely the done thing in our house. Enough yapping. Time to have a little taste. And let's get in there. Yummy texture. First thing, the texture, it is very similar to what you'd get in a typical meat sort of stew ragu. Experimenting, having fun, and being open-minded. So there you go. Happy cooking. That's delicious. It's really good. First up, I've got some lovely minced, high-quality lamb. This is lean lamb, okay, so it's not super fatty, and we're going to go dry in the pan. Now, what we're going to start doing is breaking that up, rendering the fat out, and we want caramelization. We want to brown that meat off. That's where you're going to get extra flavour.
Season your lamb with 2 generous pinches of black pepper and a little salt. Next, a herb that's lamb's best mate, rosemary. Finally chop yourself 2 sprigs.
Having that flavour is not only delicious, but it helps you to reduce the amount of salt that you need because you've got big flavour already. In we go.
Finely chop 2 onions and add them to the mince. Now for the hero ingredient.
Beans in an old school shepherd's pie, I don't really remember seeing them in there, but that doesn't matter, okay? Because what's nice is actually in many examples, whether it's a little beef burger patty, a meatloaf, you can actually reduce meat and then bulk out with beans. It's a brilliant thing to do.
Adding a tin of drained cannellini beans will ramp up the fibre content, as well as adding extra nutrients like iron.
And you can hear it's still frying, right? It's exciting, really exciting.
Next, boost that classic ragu flavour plus your 5-a-day quota with diced carrots and celery sticks, 2 of each.
Big up the veg, really, really colourful. I've got 250 grams of mushrooms here. They give a real savoury depth to this lovely shepherd's pie. And by the way, if you were a vegetarian or a vegan, you could just pull that mincemeat out and put some more mushrooms in, and you would still get something that was really, really delicious and comforting. So, mushrooms in. So look, we've had 10 minutes of high heat, stirring, adding the veggies. You can see it's kind of sunk down. Absolutely gorgeous.
Go in with a heaped tablespoon of plain flour for thickening and 800 millilitres of chicken or veg stock. Once it comes to the boil, whack a lid on and leave it to simmer for half an hour, leaving you free to crack on with the mashed topping.
So, love potatoes. They're really, really great. They're a starchy carb, so they don't count as one of your veg, but they are delicious and they give you texture.
Quarter 800 grams of potatoes, and I've got a nice tip to show you how to get even more veggies into this dish.
I've got a nice Swede here. I love cutting mashed potatoes by 50-50 veg. Add some of this in, and it's really, really delicious. So I'm going to put the Swede in first.
Boil the Swede for 10 to 15 minutes before throwing in the potatoes to cook for the same length of time again.
Look at this ragu. I'm going to turn it off now, and I have a little trick of how to get it even better. It involves mint sauce. My wife loves a bit of mint sauce. A couple of little teaspoons, maybe 2 or 3. Lamb, mint, lovely, but also there's vinegar in there, so that little bit of a twang. Then a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Notice it goes in at the end, so it doesn't get cooked away. So this now is next level, I promise you. Oh, ready and raring to go.
Pour your ragu into a serving dish and then mash up those gorgeous drained Swede and potatoes.
Classically, with this, there'd be a whole load of butter going in. Delicious, but that's not going to be a superfood day. So, then we use milk.
Just 2 tablespoons of semi-skinned will do the trick. Then grate in 15 grams of good quality cheddar.
So, you know, it's just clever ways of getting flavour up. Of course, butter is fantastic, but actually by gram, cheddar cheese is lower in fat and you get way more flavour, so you get better bang for your buck.
Season your mash and you're ready to start topping your shepherd's pie.
I don't want to have a sinking potato top. So what I do is I get 350 grams of frozen peas and I just put them on the top. They're going to be like a little layer that keeps your potatoey topping on top. Frozen peas are brilliant. They're already part cooked and then snap frozen, and a lot of that nutrition is kept in there. So really, really cool. And my family absolutely love them.
Pop your delicious mashed potato and Swede onto that layer of peas and using a fork, score the top so it will catch and go super crispy. Bake your pie at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 50 minutes until golden and bubbling.
About 5 minutes before the end, I just put a few bits of rosemary in a little olive oil on top because it smells and looks delicious, and that's it. That is going to be the most fantastic shepherd's pie. You're going to love it. And there she is, blipping away, absolutely gorgeous. Crispy top, you've got all that lovely gravy coming through. Really, really beautiful. So let's serve it up.
My superfood shepherd's pie, boosted with beans, will serve 6 hungry people happily, because as you can see, these portions are generous.
Let's have a little go. So good. The flavours are deep. The gravy is indulgent. The potato and sweet topping is crispy and delicious. That, my friends, is clever cooking and food that is really good for your body. Happy days.
So there you go, the ultimate superfood shepherd's pie, packing in a massive 4 out of your 5 fruit and veg a day, and all for just 436 calories a portion. That's going to be a total family favourite. You can't argue with that. For a day of superfood for the whole family, kicking off with a hearty herby smoked salmon breakfast, A lunch of chicken coated in sesame seeds with rice noodles and Asian slaw. And for dinner, a killer smoky veggie chili with cheesy jacket potatoes. Or super shepherd's pie with cannellini beans. At less than 500 calories a dish, it's good, honest, healthy food to keep your family in tip-top condition. Love your family, love Superfood.